Hello and welcome to GRIZZ Zombies. We're going to be covering Step 6 of the main Easter egg for DLC 4 Revelations and Black Ops 3. I'm Violent, I'll be your guide. You're going to notice that the ruins here are complete. There are 4 ruins which we'll have to collect. In the description box I have a tutorial dedicated to all the Easter eggs leading up to this point. We're almost there, fellas. We're almost to the boss. And every time I've gotten next to the boss, it has lagged out or the game has crashed. So, this is sort of a warm-up, a pre-boss round, if you will, to get there, but we're going to play a Simon Says game, and you're going to need to come up to the Chronorium and open it, and then study the symbols. There are 4 symbols that show, and they're all in your inventory. You're going to see that I'm clicking my inventory. Each rune that you're seeing there is represented in the book. There are 4 different symbols, and it's going to be a different order every time you do this, and there's a time limit, right? So, the symbols are across the map. We're looking at them here on this side by the Chronorium, and then across on the other side of the summoning key that you're seeing here is where we'll actually activate each symbol. It's going to be blinking in the air, and we'll need to push X or square to activate it. You're going to see what I'm talking about here in a second. So we're heading over to the other side, and up here you'll need to activate it in the correct order. So what we did is numbered it like 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across, and whichever one it was, we would do callouts. So if it was 3, 4, 1, 2, everyone would be on the same page because we memorize it that way. So first one would be 3, next one would be 4, and then we'd have 2, and then we'd have 1. And you memorize it according to the 4 symbols on the bottom of your HUD. Okay, so those are all, it's always going to be those 4, and it's never going to change, but it's going to blink certain Apothecan language icons that aren't there. So you're going to have to remember which ones it was, most importantly, the order. So once you got that down, you can let these cycle through and hit the one that you need, and then it'll glow like that. And so there's 4 of them, and we're going to need to get through all 4 of them. So all we're doing is waiting for the next symbol to show up, and we have our own order because we got it from the Chronorium. And so it's really that simple. And this is you're going to have one more chance in this Easter egg to go back and recoup. So you don't need to be fully upgraded. I would say be upgraded by now. But as for having your aftertaste and everything, you're going to go back, you're going to teleport back, and when you do, you'll be able to gather, regroup, get the extra perks that maybe you need if you go down in this area or time. I brought an aftertaste in here, but this is our second time being in here, so we wanted to be prepared. So the next thing that's going to happen, after you get the correct order, it's going to flash to white, and then you're going to have 4 different MARGWAS rounds, okay? So I call them MARGWAS rounds, so we got the fire MARGWAS coming in, and if you have the THUNDERGUN upgraded, that's why I highly recommend it, and I've been recommending it through all my tutorials. It's because the THUNDERGUN allows you to kill MARGWAS up close and from the air, because there is a moment here where we'll be floating in the air. There are 4 iterations of MARGWAS we'll have to pay attention to, and this one here is the Void. We call this the Void round, and there are many things you're going to have to look out for. This one specifically is the one where you get gravity that's risen and you can jump around. I happen to think this is the easiest one, especially if you have the THUNDERGUN. What sucks is that the game only allows you to have 1 THUNDERGUN. If we were able to glitch it or get another person a THUNDERGUN, it would make this so much easier. I would say at this point, once you get to this round where it's kind of electrified everywhere, that is when you grab the max ammo, okay? So there's a max ammo you'll get when you first spawn in, at least we do, when we first spawn in, and then there's one that's right next to the Chronorium. Save that one until then, because then you'll be able to grab the summoning key. So included in this guide, I'm also going to be talking about the locations of everywhere you're going to bring the summoning key. He went down, somehow he got the summoning key. I'm just showing you most of this footage so that way you can get the best perspective possible in learning how to do this. So we're going to get the summoning key. And now that we have that in our possession, we're going to need to take it to certain locations and throw it at objects. And when we do that, you'll know when you activated it because it's going to glow with some sort of icon. This one specifically is an elephant that you'll see, and we'll throw it up there at the EISENDRACHE clock. And a few tosses and you'll get it. It does bounce back to you, and you do have to kind of look for it. It will kind of float halfway in the ground at certain points, but you'll be able to see it fairly easily. So here's an example of when I missed. Alright, so we're in Shangri-La right now. This is the second place that we chose to go. You can do these out of order as well. And then they're not round based, it's just an Easter egg step that you do as you go. So that's a monkey bomb that you see in the Shangri-La. over in VERRUCKT, you notice outside the map, there's this fountain. In the fountain there, we're going to toss the summoning key at it. And there we go. Now we have VERRUCKT done. And we're going to move on to the next one, which is an origin. So we're going to the top of excavation. You remember that tombstone we've been trying to do things with? Well, that's what we're going to be throwing it at, and that's the teddy bear. So once we complete that, we'll move on to our next one. Make sure you're doing this in safe, secure ways, so that way you don't get tripped up. The Mob of the Dead area. It's one of the cells that's open, and that's the one you toss it in. I believe it's the only one that's open, but I missed like 6 times right here. And it also just shoots right back to you so you can pick it up. So that's what it looks like. There's one in NACHT, right in the window next to spawn. There's a red barrel. That's what you're going to want to aim for, and then you'll have the Easter Bunny, which will now have one more to do, which is in KINO der Toten. That is the chandelier. If you don't already know, the chandelier was an Easter egg in Black Ops, and we were able to get a radio up there that was for Maxis. So you'll know it's done when the summoning key does not come back to you. If it comes back to you, you know you got one more to do and that you missed it, and you need to go back and do it. So now this signifies that we can go into the teleporter, and guess what? We're ready for the boss round. So every time we've gone in here and done this, the game has crashed on us. And so we're kind of dealing with that right now, but once I beat this Easter egg finally, I'll upload the cutscene and everything like that. So I've kept away from that. I've stayed off social media because I want to be surprised by this. I want to see what it has. So we'll see you guys next time. Viollent out.